Hi, this is Tom James from VIP Stable. We're back in Sorrento, Florida. It's February 28th. We just had our VIP Stable Day. We avoided the rain. We talked about the 2-year-olds a minute ago. John, why don't we go over the 3-year-olds?
Certainly.
We got to go out and get some pizza, so we got to go through this one pretty quick. So we're going to start with a nice filly, Maritime.
Yeah, she had a nice year last year. As a 2-year-old, little immaturity. We found a little chip in an ankle at the end of the year. We addressed that situation. She's come back really well for us. She's growing up, filling out. Today we trained her a couple trips. We won a mile in 2:14. Kind of right on target where we want to be. We'll qualify her here, depending on how our weather goes, her schedule in April before we send north. So whether we qualify once, twice, or 3 times, they have the qualifiers right here at the track. Same as in the previous years. We'll go along here the first, second, or third week of April, go north, and have her set up for the Sire Stakes, hopefully in New York. And look forward to being able to race her there. So.
Yeah. She's a nice looking filly. She looks good on the track. I think we're going to have a nice year with her. If she can just stay sound and do what she's doing, she looks great.
Exactly.
Another one who's actually a maiden for us this year is going to probably, another one that looks pretty good on the track is Penny for Your Thoughts.
Yeah, we shut him down last year. We had an opportunity to race him a few more times. I mean, we shut him down. He's a little immature, sound horse, and he was just on the cusp of winning a race or two there for us at the end of the year last year. But we figured the money that they were going for then, it'll still be there when we start him up this year. It'll be much easier bringing a horse back as a maiden as opposed to a non-winner as a 2 or a non-winner as a 3. And he's had a great winter. He's filled out. He's grown up. He's matured. Everything looks real well on him right now. Same thing. We trained him back today in the same group there with a Maritime in 2:14. He's on schedule. We get to start him out. I don't know that he'll turn out to be an easy Noah type, but we were able to do the same thing. Start him out as a maiden. He was a Western Terror. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Got through some easy wins right off the get-go, and it catapulted him into a hell of a year there as a 3-year-old. Yeah. So this colt, if we can duplicate a quarter or a third of that, I'll take $50,000, $60,000 a year and be tickled.
Yeah, the type that we can go through non-winners of 1, non-winners of 2, maybe into the Stallion Series to get him going to see what we have and go from there.
Exactly. He'll let us know, but he's training down real well. We grew up, and I'm excited to get ready to get going. We're looking 5 weeks away from our first round of qualifiers.
It's nice to have these 3-year-old maidens.
It's exciting.
We're gonna have some fun with some of these guys. Another one that we could have a lot of fun with is that filly Trotter, Sugar and Cream. She's looking like she's maturing. She's getting me nervous.
Here we go back again, psycho bitch from hell. But no, she. Anybody that watched her train today will see that we've got her head kind of screwed onto her straight at the moment, and she's not sideways, which I'm hopeful that she won't get back that way. And training her, making her follow, making her sit in, making her mind her manners. She still wants to get a little grabby and aggressive at times, but she isn't doing all the silly. She's not mad. Last year she got to where she was mad. She's not that. I mean, we trained her in 15 today. Didn't quite keep up at the end with the pacers there, but I wasn't pushing her hard. I don't want to fire her up. I don't want to key her up. And, I mean, she's a beautiful going thing. I mean, she feels like $1 million, and she does have the talent. But it's going to depend on what we're able to do down here, if that will translate and carry over for what we're trying to do once we get north. We get her into that environment and into the paddock around other horses and on the racetrack and behind the starting gate. The amount of talent that is there is undeniable. Now it's just a matter of whether I can do the correct job or, blame me, blame the horse, whatever, if it doesn't work out. But, there's certainly the amount of talent. And being that she is a maiden and has stake race potential, hopefully if we can corral her in, harness her energy, and focus it in the right direction. Maybe I can drive again. I'll be like the legend returns. I'll win the second race in the Millennium.
Oh, the Valley of Sin legend returns. Remember when John drove Valley of Sin at long odds one day, and he happened to win. I don't know how. But I know right now you're just trying to teach her to be a racehorse. Yeah. And if she can behave herself.
So far, so good.
Knock on wood. Let's go over to one of the nicer colts, Dragon Eddie.
Yep, Dragon Eddie and Tommy Terror both trained today in 2-9. I mean, they were both legit Sire Stakes horses in Pennsylvania. They're, I don't know, most people probably follow Tommy Terra, as you were involved with him and you bought
Yep.
into Dragon Eddy at the end of the year, and they raced on the same days and raced against each other, so I'm sure everybody's kind of familiar with the horses.
Yep.
Both of them are quality horses. They were quality 2-year-olds. Now, we've seen what's happened. We've been a little disappointed at times with a Duel in the Sun or even like All-Star Partner last year. So, our hopes are high and there's cautious optimism because, we've also had opportunities where like Johnny Rack, was a good 2-year-old and come back well as a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
We're just, hopefully they can duplicate back their seasons that they had and we'll all be real happy. But
Yes.
right now they're, both of those colts have both developed, they've both matured, they're both on schedule. And, we've got a couple routes. We are a little aggressive with their stake payments because of what they done last year, but we also have them backed up in the sire stakes and some of the minor stakes. And, if they can't quite get that next level into them, we got a shot to make some money and have some fun. And, these type of horses, we need to manage them correctly. It's about, trying to make the most amount of money that we can. And, it'd be great if we got a shot to go to the jug with either of them,
Yeah.
or get in the Meadowlands Pace or do something like that again. We've tried and we've swung for the fences and it hasn't quite always worked well, but you got to remember we're at the top of the top and the best of the best. You can look mighty damn good winning your playoff game to go to the Super Bowl and, get your butt handed to you on a platter. And,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you're still not a quality team. And it's the same with the horses. We're going to go through a lot more ups and downs in the 3-year-old year, competition stuffer, and we're going to be stepping outside of our state-bred programs where both of these horses kind of competed exclusively for the most part against Pennsylvania sired horses, and we're going to be taking on the world.
Yeah, we'll see what they are. If they're good enough to compete with the top level horses, they'll race against them. If they're not, we'll put them where those top horses aren't and still have an opportunity to make a lot of money with them. And that's really what we have to do.
Exactly.
About managing these horses.
They're very quality. Both of them
Definitely
are
quality racehorses. No doubt
Very
about it.
quality horses. Be tickled to death to have a pair like that every year. Not only the 2-year-olds or the excitement to bring them back. I'm very excited to have them coming back.
And another maiden that actually raced with
That was my excitement.
with Dragon Eddy and Tommy Terra today in their grouping was American Messenger.
Here's a horse that major disappointment last year. He showed ability. We trained him really well and just could never get him over the hump. Always nagging problems, find this and that. And we over pursued him maybe as far as justifying the amount of money we spent trying to figure out what was wrong with him. And I think the main thing that was wrong with him is he was just immature. That's basically what we come up with, and a lot of colt soreness, and growth plates in his stifle joints were open, and growth plates in his knees were open. I think just experiencing bone pain and growing pains. And here's a horse that he's changed as much from last year to when we brought him down here as what he's done since we brought him here. He's a different type of horse, and he trained in 2.9. He's a maiden, never raced last year. With Tommy Terra and Dragon Eddy, who were, standouts in their respective classes, and he gave them all they needed today training, and trained them in 2.9, and it's pretty exciting. American Ideals have done exceptionally well, and this horse has some pedigree, so
He's a nice looking individual. I remember when we saw him, when I saw him back earlier last month in January, how good he looked. He looked like he's mature. He's got a nice racehorse. I know he's getting my $2 bet when he goes into a maiden because he's going to be awful tough. He's a nice looking horse who's got some potential. Fingers crossed.
Exactly.
He's going to have some opportunities, I think, for us. One of our trotters that's coming back. He's a nice mature looking horse. Let's see if he can get going with Strategic Alliance.
Yeah, same thing. We win one race with him last year. He's a big, strong colt. Kind of the same thing. You see a big, strong colt like him last year, and to say that he's immature, kind of people look at you, but they just haven't quite grown into themselves. And right now, this year, he's into himself, and he's grown. And we didn't go very fast with him today, as we got screwed up on our schedules on our fast days and slow days. Previously here, he's we've been in the 17, 18 range. Today we trained him in 27, I think it was. We didn't go very fast and trained him with Just for a Victory, who also is coming back and has been in the same range, 16, 17 range, and we trained those two together. And, hopefully they'll continue to come along, and they're right on schedule, not as fast as the Pacers, but they don't have to qualify and race as fast as well, too. So.
Yeah, Just for Victory is in such a nice program in Indiana. He's going to have plenty of opportunities basically to stay in Indiana and do fine.
Exactly. We'll determine when we leave here just where he's at. If I like the way he's trotting and everything's going well and he's qualified and there's races in Indiana, we'll send him there, or we, take him with us to Pennsylvania, get him a starter too, make sure everything's lined out and his head's on straight and going forward the way he needs to, and then we'll send him back out to Irv Miller's assistant out there, Wayne, and he did a real good job driving him for us last year, and Irv's reputation precedes himself, so I think we'll be in good shape there.
Yeah, a nice group, a nice day for these 3-year-olds that were here today. Again, anyone who was here to saw them train was probably pretty happy with what they saw, and pretty hopeful that we're going to come into this year with a really nice group of 3-year-olds. Some of the horses that are still back in the barn, Pennsylvania, one of the 3-year-olds who's a very nice trotter, coming off an injury, is Explosive Drama.
Yep, we got the go-ahead and the green light, and he's been swimming now for about 3 weeks up there. The weather's been horribly cold and the tracks have been bad, but we're going to re-x-ray his foot there. If it all looks good, we expect within the next 2-3 weeks to be able to start putting him on the racetrack a little bit. And, we did, because of what he done last year, a little bit of optimism. We paid him into some stake races late in the year. We're going to miss some stuff early because of the length of time that he had to recover from his injury. And, if everything comes back good, we'll keep our fingers crossed, and maybe we can have a horse late in the year that can pick up the pieces and take up the slack when some of these other ones are maybe getting ready to shut down for the year.
Yeah, talent's certainly there. Let's hope he can get back to being healthy. He's just a wonderful trotter.
Yep.
So some excitement there. So far, so good. He's looking like maybe we'll get him back this year. Maybe we'll get him back later this summer. One that we've still been waiting on for a while, obviously, is a very talented trotter that we've been disappointed with in his recovery, is Valley of Sin.
Yeah, same thing. We did get the green light and go ahead to start back going along with him, and we're just waiting now for the weather to break. I mean, he jogs, he's on the exercise, he's swimming. We're doing everything that we can to keep him up in shape and get him in shape and ready to race. And, we bounced through December and January. Looked like we were pretty good, and February come about, and about time to start getting serious. And Mother Nature has released the wrath of herself upon everybody up there in the Northeast.
He doesn't need to go out in a frozen track in 10-degree weather, does he?
He's doing fine. We're just, our schedule's pushed back a little bit.
Just be a little conservative at this point. Come this far, you have to be.
There's no sense in rushing it, or we're going to be waiting on him. So we'll give him this shot and see what happens here.
How about Kings Barnes?
He's a horse that's just been tough luck this year. He's drawn outside of the Meadowlands. He's come home faster. He's been interfered with. Everything looks good. Man, last week is licking our chops. Dave Miller put him in this perfect striking position. I actually talked to Dave, and he said the horse just never really fired. He didn't not ever stop. He drove good. Everything seemed fine. Paced in 51 on a very cold night at the Meadowlands, but the way he had been racing and coming off of cover and exploding, I kind of thought that maybe he would have been there that night to get the job done for us. But it was his 6th start in a row, and that's, I'm guessing that might have taken a little bit out of him. We opted to skip a week, and now we've applied down to Dover to give us another option as far as racing him. We'll see when we can get him in, if we can get him in there. If not, we might have to look back towards the Meadowlands. But it is 1st of March. We're looking, Poconos, Cheshire will be opening up, PA bred. You get a little extra money, a little shorter fields than going back to the Meadowlands. We have to go to the Meadowlands, get a start and do them, tighten them up, and have them ready to go when our Pennsylvania stuff starts.
Yeah, we have the option at this point, if he doesn't get it in Dover, we can maybe give him another week or 2 off, and then just come back to Pocono or Chester. Want to kind of give him this mini break now, and then just try to go with him for a period of time.
When they open up, just fire them along. See what.
So we've got a couple of options. If he gets into Dover, we'll probably send him over there and we'll go from there. One of the other ones one of the veteran race horses that we have that started off a little slow, but picked up the pace a little bit, Tinker Tiger.
Yeah, I've been really happy with him. He's raced a few times when we bought him, looked at his lines. He raced at Maywood a few times, but basically stayed on the big track. So when we brought him out here, you just win about Balmoral in 51. He raced okay. I was really expecting him to come out here and explode. Myself and my son both bought into the horse along with the VIP stable. And, I was disappointed. I was look at the lines, look at the races, look at everything. He wasn't really racing poor. He wasn't racing anything different than what he was doing in Chicago. He was just getting beat. And it's the C2 level at the Meadowlands going for 8,000 just wasn't quite there. It worked. We were able to get him in down to freehold in a cheap class. come first up against some decent horses, finish third, drop him right back in 5 days later. He wins first up in a good mile that day. Thought, wow, he got around the half good. Let's try him over to Yonkers. Purses are a little bit better there.
There's another first over trip?
Another first over trip. He grounded out and had a nice win. Entered him back. He did not get in for next Tuesday, which in a way may be a blessing in disguise. We'll find out. Same class goes on Sunday, and it goes for 16,000 as opposed for 13,000. So
better than a C2 for 8,000.
And he just, he's a 7-year-old. He's a horse that has a lot of starts every year. He's a sound horse. He's just a nice racehorse. I think if we manage him right and he shows that he can get around Yonkers, if he can live right at Yonkers, great. We'll probably try him at some point at Poconos and or Chester and see how he gets along at those two venues. But if not, I have no trouble racing him every week at Yonkers, and if he bounces between the,
mid-level, low-level,
mid-level conditions and or claimers, these horses do well. I mean, he can be something that a person can watch and have some fun, make a little bit of money.
Yeah, that's the goal. Put him where he can win, basically, is our goal there.
Exactly.
Sounds good, John. Again, the 3-year-old group is looking good. You're happy?
Happy.
Yeah, I'm happy too. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We'll be back here in April to see him qualify, the 3-year-olds that are down in Sorrento, and keep on going with the ones that are up in Pennsylvania, and get a little bit of luck, hopefully, with Explosive Drama and Valley of Sin. Hope to see them back real soon. Get them, when the weather changes, get them back on the track. And John, keep our fingers crossed. I think we got a nice group, and thanks again for your help at VIP Stable Day. We had a nice time. I appreciate all your hard work. I know you had a lot to do with getting this all put together for us, so we really appreciate it. And I know all of our members who attended really had a nice time, and we hope to see you down here next year. That's Tom James along with John Butenschoen here in Sorrento, Florida. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.